Hello, this is Dave Birmingham from SteelEye Technology. Today I'd like to demonstrate how SteelEye DataKeeper Cluster Edition extends Windows Server Failover Clustering to provide high availability and disaster recovery options for your Hyper-V virtual servers. SteelEye DataKeeper is a highly efficient replication engine that does real-time block-level replication of Hyper-V virtual machines from one host server to another. SteelEye DataKeeper Cluster Edition integrates with Windows Server Failover Clustering to replace the shared physical disk resource with a DataKeeper replicated volume resource, which enables multi-site clustering and disaster recovery configurations. In this demonstration, we have two servers, WSFC1 and WSFC2, each with their own internal array of SAS drives. Each server is running Windows Server 2008 64-bit edition with the Hyper-V role and Windows Server Failover Clustering installed. DataKeeper Cluster Edition is also installed on each server and is actively replicating the virtual machine VHD files from WSFC1 to WSFC2. Let's take a look at how Windows Server Failover Clustering and DataKeeper work hand in hand to move a VM from one data center to another. I have a Microsoft Management Console configured here with the SteelEye DataKeeper GUI, the Failover Clustering Management GUI, the Hyper-V Manager, and remote desktop to our server in our disaster recovery site. So let's take a look at the Failover Cluster Management tool. I have a virtual machine called VM1, which is currently running on WSFC1 and is being replicated via our DataKeeper volume resource, volume E, to WSFC2. So we take a look at the Hyper-V Manager on WSFC1. We see VM1 is running. We'll connect to it. It's a Windows Server 2008 virtual machine with SharePoint services running. I have the default team site running here. So let's just make an announcement in on SharePoint on the VM that's running on the primary server right now. Okay, so we'll just say running on WSFC1. Okay. And just close the connection there. And now let's use the Failover Clustering Manager to move that resource to WSFC2. So we'll right click on the virtual machine resource, say move virtual machine to another node, move it to WSFC2. And we'll see now it's saving the state of the running virtual machine. Once the state is saved, it will bring the virtual machine resource offline, and then it'll bring the volume resource offline. The volume is the local E drive, which is being replicated to WSFC2. We see that it's offline, and now the volume resource is online pending. What's happening at that point is that the mirror is being reversed. So we see that the mirror is now online on WSFC2. Virtual machine is being restored. And after that completes and everything says online, we'll see that the virtual machine is running on WSFC2. So we see WSFC1, there's no virtual machines. But now WSFC2, that same virtual machine, which was previously running on WSFC1, is now running on WSFC2. It has that announcement we made, which was replicated at the block level of the VHD file. So we'll add another announcement now that we're running on WSFC2. At that point, now the virtual machine is actually being replicated in reverse. So it's being replicated from WSFC2 back to WSFC1. So now if I go back to the virtual machine manager and I want to bring things back online on the primary server, I'll just say move back to WSFC1. Again, it's saving the state, which is basically flushing the memory of that virtual machine to disk so that it's available on the restore on the other server. And we'll be back online on the primary server, all replicated. This is just telling me we lost the connection as it's being moved off of WSFC2. We'll just close that. That's the Hyper-V Manager. And we see the volume's already switched over, and now we're just restoring the virtual machine. And we'll be back up and running here in no time. So now we look WSFC1, the virtual machine's running again. We'll open it up. There's the announcement we made while we were running on WSFC2. So what we saw a switch over, we saw a switch back. That was all pre-planned, switch over, switch back. If it were an actual disaster and you had an unexpected failure of your primary server, the recovery process would have been very similar, with one exception, in that because in an unexpected failure, you would not have time to save the state of the virtual machine. So basically what would happen in the recovery process is the virtual machine would be booted just as if it had lost power unexpectedly on the primary server. So it's going to boot from the beginning and do the boot up from scratch. Well, that's it for the demo today. Thank you for your attention.